Every Rattler has a story.
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 Freddie Grooms, McClendon, and every Rattler has a story. And my story is that I came here from Jacksonville, Florida, X number of years ago, had a marvelous experience, and moved on through Florida A&M, and then I worked at Florida State University, and now I've recently retired. I've written 2 books, and my story is what it is because of what Florida A&M University did for me a few years ago.
My name is Roy Wood Jr. I'm a 2001 graduate from Florida A&M University in the School of Broadcast Journalism, and this is my 1887 story. I came to FAMU. My mother was an alumni. My father used to be a professor here, but ultimately I played high school baseball, and at the time FAMU's baseball team wasn't doing that good, so I figured I can make that baseball team. So I'll go to FAMU. I didn't visit the university. I didn't look at a brochure. My mama said it was a good school. My daddy said it was good. Hey, that's good enough for me. And I came down here and promptly got cut from the baseball team in the first 30 minutes of tryouts. I thought baseball tryouts was like a week-long, evaluation process. But apparently, back in 1996, they can assess within about an hour whether or not you know what you're doing or not. And clearly, I didn't know what I was doing, and that's when my career in broadcast journalism and eventually stand-up comedy began. We ain't saying you ain't got no talent. We're just saying that you don't have a talent, that you have a talent that Rattler baseball does not need at this time. And you think that he finna call out a bunch of names who's like Turner Wood. I'm glad y'all think it's funny. Ultimately, what kept me at FAMU was the sense of family and the sense of forgiveness. My first 2 years of FAMU, I was a bit of a rogue, and I wasn't no thug with it, but I did my fair share of not studying and getting in enough trouble and academic probation and stuff that the faculty and staff here could have very easily had just left me behind and swept me under the rug as another failed project, but they didn't give up on me, and that ultimately saved my life, and I'll be forever grateful to FAMU. That's my 1887 story.
My 1887 story begins when I was 16 years old, brought down here to campus by my mom and my little sister. And at first, all I could think about when that cab rolled away with my mother was that I wanted to run behind it. I was so intimidated and afraid, and oh my goodness, I know I wanted to go to college, but look at this big campus and all these strange people. But then I went into the dorm and met all kinds of wonderful people from all around the country, and immediately just became part of the FAMU family. I was 16, 17 years old, and I really didn't know what my talents were and how I could use those talents to actually make a career and a living. And one by one, each class I took and each professor that pushed me and told me, Kim, you know what, you're really good at this. And I'd go, really? You really think I'm good at that? Yeah, you're really good at that. Oh, shoot, I'm good at that. Let me develop that. Let me get better at it. And, every little piece of encouragement that I received and every challenge that I received that, Professor Gorham saying to me, young lady, you can do better than that. I want you to go back and research every famous female broadcaster that's on TV. And I'm sitting there looking at her like, what? And she's like, yes, go do it. And so I did. And I was better for it because I learned so much about women who had gone before me and had done so many things in this industry that I was just a little baby, looking in and wondering what I could do and how I could find myself. And I had Professor Kierstead tell me, you're a great producer. I didn't even know what a producer was or what a producer did. But then he said, you organize people and facts and you know how to get things together and make it something that people want to see and watch and hear. And I thought, wow, I'm really good at that. It's those little seeds of encouragement that I got here at FAMU that helped me to grow.
This is DJ Vince Adams. I want you to know that every Rattler has a story. There's a 1887 story. I actually got to FAMU in 1988, which was 1 year after the centennial. And when I was in Chicago, I graduated with a degree in business administration from the School of Business in 1993. But when I was in Chicago in 1987, which is 100 years after the school started, I was listening to the 2 Live Crew. And when I listened to the 2 Live Crew in 1987, I thought it was like Richard Pryor on record. But I was in Chicago, which is the North, and the music was totally different down here in the South. When I got down to FAM in 1988, the first party that I went to was thrown by the Sigmas, and people were dancing to the 2 Live Crew. And it just like blew my mind that people were actually dancing to the music that I thought people were having comedy records to, and now we all know how big the 2 Live Crew is. But just to show you that FAMU exposes you to a lot of things that you wouldn't normally get, my FAMU story was my first party when I found out that the 2 Live Crew was actually a popular rap group. FAMU is so big in Tallahassee, we just have such a representation that not only do you get the best of the people from the South, you get the best of people from the West Coast, from the Midwest, from the East Coast. I just think that family, all of those people that come down here and build this city within a city that we call Florida A&M,